Hey guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to another episode of the automation campaign. And yeah, in the last episode we made a new car, the Regale, and it turned out to be a pretty popular vehicle. We nearly went bankrupt, we were very close to going bankrupt, so we ended up fully replacing the Sposter and just throwing it out of production. Now, in today's episode, we are going to be building the more basic variant of the Regale and hopefully selling that more to the masses. So, I mean, yeah, let's get started with that. Alright, so I reckon we should target, I don't know, we've already got family premium. If we target more of a city demograph, I feel like we can get more out of what we want. So, I mean, bodies, we have a few new bodies, so we have these bodies, but we're mainly looking for a hatchback body. To be honest, this would have been like the perfect body for the Regale, but that doesn't matter right now. So, if we go down a little bit, we'll find the same bodies that we're using right now. So we're using the 2.3 meter, I believe, the 2.3 meter length bodies. And, I mean, would have been perfect for the lower class vehicles. But actually, we've got this vehicle body here. I don't know whether that would be too small, but that could work. Honestly, that could work. So I mean, we can keep having a little look, and I mean, we've got this old Citroen bodies. We've got a variation of the old Citroen bodies, but it's mainly just. I mean, these might work as well, actually. The sort of Renault 5 or the Renault Maxi, or wherever they were back in the day. They might work. So, or this body here. This looks a bit like an old BMW 2002 body. I mean, if there's a hatchback variant, which sadly there isn't. Yeah. Oh, they've got a whole range of them. Hold on, let's see if we can target hatchback, because I mean, we're going to keep the sedan bodies for the big SUVs. I think that's how we're going to do it. So there is a hatchback variant of the 2002 body, but oh, look at the fender flares on that body. So we're not going to go this far down. This doesn't make any sense. We're 1966. I mean, these bodies are already old as it is. So realistically, we want to use one of these bodies. I mean, it's a bit difficult to say. I mean, we could use these. I swear these are the Renault bodies, or also Renault bodies. I have apparently a lot of French bodies, but that doesn't matter right now. So yeah, I think we're gonna go with this body for now, and we're just gonna see what we can do with it. So steel frame. Do we want to go monocoque chassis just yet? Oh, it's a bit difficult to say, but I think we're gonna keep with ladder chassis for the last time as a vehicle, and then when we do the facelift, the last facelift of this vehicle, we're going to straight away go into producing its successor with a monocoque chassis. So front transverse, we're going to go solid axle coil and semi-trailing. Oh, this looks horrendous with its how tall it is. I don't like it at all. We need the McPherson struts, but I don't know when they're coming. So we're going to use an existing engine, so we're not going to use these engines. I feel like we could facelift. They're already 1959, so what are we, 1966? So when this vehicle comes out, they'll be about 10 years old. So we could facelift these engines, so we can replace variants. So we're going to replace the big engine variant, so we're going to be the 110C. This will probably be the last facelift of the vehicle. So I mean, realistically, all we want is for the engine to be more efficient. We don't want the engine to have stupid amounts of power for, well, we can't get stupid amounts of power out of it because it's just a tiny 1.1 or 900cc engine. So, I mean, realistically, it's just to keep the car going. So, let's have a look. So, I mean, I believe we're going to have to focus on fuel octane, so we could go down to regular fuel. Because I think the I think the ban on leaded fuels are coming soon, so I might need to do that. So we'll do that for now. We'll increase the rev limit to about 5400. We want to keep the engine quite reliable as well, so I'll just mess around with the engine a little bit, and I'll be back with you once I'm done. Okay, so here we have it. We have the next generation of this engine. I really couldn't do much with it. It was stupidly difficult. I think compared to the previous engines, actually lost fuel efficiency, but that's just because we don't have enough octane to play around with. And considering its engineering time, I had to take a bit off of well, not everything. I think I left the fuel system quality quite the way it was before, but I had to take down the top end a little bit, and I've taken down the exhaust a little bit, so we couldn't really use that to our advantage. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the vehicle. So manual gearbox, we'll chuck no, we'll still keep a 3-speed in there. There's no point putting on 4-speed just yet, because I mean top speed wise we don't have a top speed worthy of 4 gears. So radial tires will be the first time for this class of vehicle to have radial tires, so we've got to make the tire diameter a bit bigger, I'd say, and then, but even then it's stupidly high. I really do not like that, so we'll do drums, no under tray. I mean, we'll keep a basic interior with a basic AM radio, so no power steering, standard 60 safety, progressive springs and twin tube. Now family budget like it, low comfort penalty, hold on, we can fix that, there you go. So family budget like this vehicle, family utility budget like this vehicle, which makes no sense because this vehicle can carry a lot apparently. Okay, I did a wrong there. But in the end of the day, no, I feel like we could make this work. If we just go to the wheels and we make the wheels a little bit wider, we could sort of play it off as if it is supposed to be this wide. So let's make the rear tires just a little bit wider. There you go. And I mean, it looks horrendous. I really do. I might go to double wishbone. I feel like though that it's too much for this kind of vehicle. So what I'll do now is I'll go around, tune the vehicle, design the vehicle as well. We want to keep it as cheap as possible while we're at it, and I'll be back with you once I finish that. Alright, so here I am just going through, working on the vehicle, trying to get it as competitive as possible. We want to make as much money as possible on this vehicle. And for the design, I pretty much based it off of the Regale, but because this is a more cheaper variant of the vehicle, I tried to make it look like it's a little bit cheaper. Mainly the size gives it away from that it is a more basic variant of the Regale, but also I wanted to give it a slightly smaller grille and just make it look a bit more cutesy, I guess you could say. Now, I would like to apologize for the shorter video today. As of recording this, I am quite ill. I don't know whether you hear it on my voice, but my throat has been killing me for the past few days, so I am negative. I have tested, so don't worry about that, but it's not fun. I managed to find a spot now to record this video for you guys where I feel alright, and I mean, I'm alright. Anyway, so the vehicle itself, I really hope it sells. It's the this is the direct replacement to the Gente, and I really want it to sell, so I'll be back with you guys and hopefully we can get this car to sell. Okay, so here we are. We've designed the vehicle, which we have called the Vetturetta. Vetturetta. I can't pronounce it, but doesn't matter. It just means small car in Italian. So, what did I do? People love this car now. It's relatively affordable, especially the city segment. It's very quite 2/3 of the city segment can afford this vehicle. And I mean, in general, I just got the car as good in the places I could get it. There was, I mean, I could still work on the tune the handling a little bit. Actually, I forgot to do that after I did the suspension, but we could simply just, there you go, 100%. They look relatively alright. We'll keep it like that. But all in all, I feel like the vehicle worked quite well, and the way it looks, I mean, grill, I'm not too big on the grill, but I mean, it's sort of how the company does it, so we're gonna have to keep it like that. But I feel like this body really is quite cool. I'm not so sure about the wing. I tried to see if I could split this off a little bit, but it's just so tall in the back that you can't really do too much. But yeah, so I mean, I did end up putting double wishbone suspension in the front. I kind of need to, simply because otherwise the car would be just so tall, it would just look horrendous. Anyway, so I will get to making the small variant of the vehicle, and I'll be back with you once I've done that. Alright, so here we are. We have now produced the smaller variant of the vehicle. So the engine in it itself isn't anything spectacular. It's just a facelift onto the new fuel. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slightly, I mean, how big can we do a factory? Because I really want this car to sell well. So I feel like we go from medium to factory for now. See how the vehicle does, and if it does well, we can make the factory a bit bigger, sell more cars, and just keep pushing it, seeing how far we can go. So in the end of the day, we want to make a profit, so trying to get as many cars out as possible will be our goal. So it'll take about, actually doesn't take that long to make this car. I mean, we want to learn a bit on the car, so we'll do about 46 months, I'd say, to learn about the car. I mean, we're probably going to do some manual tooling because it'll shave off a lot of time in production, and it'll be, I mean, the people will like it more, I guess. For some reason the competitiveness goes up when I decide that, hey, look, we don't want to produce that, we don't want to automate it as much, but doesn't matter. So anyway, engine factories, we've got a large, medium engine factory already, so we want to be producing, I mean, that's enough engines, so we're producing enough engines there. So tooling is already pretty much bang on, so we can go through with that. I mean, we're not going to touch any of this. I mean, I did have an engine refresh, so I mean, we'll just do it as cheap as possible. We've still got ages until the actual vehicle releases, so I mean, could we automate it a bit more? I don't know. We'll stick with this. This will work just fine. So we'll complete the design, and this is already looking great. So what we'll do is we'll sell the big engined variant for 5.2, like we did with the Gente, and we'll sell the small variant vehicle for 5,000, like we did with the Gente. And this is beautiful. Finally, we're seeing some nice big green numbers. The Regale had some really nice big green numbers. Now this vehicle has big green numbers, and we love the big green numbers is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to complete the design. We're going to take a loan out on this vehicle, and we're going to pay it off in about 2.5 million per month, I'd say. That should be fine. So sign off on the loan. You have chosen to take out, yes, take out a loan. Are you sure? Yes, I want to take out a loan. So, vehicle will be in production now. We've taken out a loan for the vehicle, so we shouldn't worry about losing money to the production of this vehicle. So, I think we should continue with our timeline. So, the values are still green, which is brilliant. And I mean, we've just hit 50 mil again, 50 million. Which is even more brilliant, which means, let's have a look at the company finances. So car production was 165 million. So in total, we actually made 19.3 million in the last year, which is a profit, and I love a profit. So, and look at this, we're making 3.6 million a month now. So super happy, because this was we were so close to bankruptcy earlier on. It's good to see that the company is coming back to life again. And look at this, 4 million a month now. This is incredible. I was honestly not expecting that. So, financial report, we made 41 million last year again. And there they are. The leaded fuel bans. So, I think the Regale is still using leaded fuel, but we still have plenty of time. We have 10 years until we need to switch over to regular unleaded fuel. So, we shouldn't have to worry about that. So, oh, we've hit our first 100 million. Oh, negative money. And 9 million a month. 13 million. Oh, my goodness. That's genuinely amazing. Look at this. The company finances are absolutely skyrocketing. Oh, that's amazing. That is genuinely amazing. That means we can now focus on producing more vehicles. We can. Oh, that is genuinely incredible. Look at all the stuff that's coming through now. At 17 million. 17 million. I am so happy. We've actually made more money than we started out with. That is incredible. So, the Vetturetta is actually losing us a little bit of money at the moment, because the 9 has a low desirability ratio, but that's fine. The vehicle will start to sell incredibly well. Oh, 18 million profits. That is incredible, and Gazmir has now opened its borders to trade with us, so we can market our vehicles there now. So that's genuinely incredible. That's genuinely, I am so happy with how things have turned out. So, I mean, that means we can now focus on making the car better, I guess. I mean, making more cars, really. Because in the end of the day, both vehicles are selling stupidly well. That means we can now, I mean, it's a shame that we had to get rid of the Sposter, right? The Sposter was it was sort of an attempt into a market which ended up not working. So, but we can probably give it another go now. I mean, it would be quite stupid, right, to start it out right now. But, I mean, we can have a look at the world market. So, currently there is 180 million to be made in untapped revenue. If I limit it to awareness, about 50 million to be made. Assume we make about, what, 10% of that? We are making 5 million. So that is not all that much, I want to say. It's not really that much. It's not worth spending stupid amounts of money to produce a vehicle that will only make 10% of these markets. So, I think I'm going to call it there for now. Next episode we will think about making more vehicles to expand our lineup, and yeah, it was a pleasure making this episode, and goodbye.